So this whole video is a byproduct of the Mr. T Lexify drama, being that during Lex's video, he revealed that NoahJ cheated on his wife with the streamer Fuslie. And since that was all revealed, they both made videos talking about the situation, which we'll go through in this video. There are two main videos, one being Noah's and the other being Fuslie's. But then there are people who are friends with both of them who say their opinion on the entire situation, since they would have a deeper connection to these two and will probably reveal more information about them. Sub if you want. Okay, so we're gonna go through Noah's video, since his video is 5 minutes and Fuslie's is 40 something minutes. Both of them streamed their responses live. Now let's get into this. So Noah called his video talking, and in it there's two parts. The first part being the cheating, and the other part being the Milad stuff, since there's stuff going around saying that he invited Milad personally to a party that he was DJing. So basically the entire time it just sounded like he was about to cry. He says he wrote a script for it to help him collect his thoughts, and he gave a little background of his marriage, being that they met in high school, but they couldn't live together until they were married because of some kind of family value. And after they got married, they realized that they were not a good fit to be a couple. Which sounds dumb to me, because how most relationships work is that the next level after being in a relationship is that you live together to experience what it would be like to be a married couple, because you would be with them 24/7, and that's how people find out if they're a good fit for each other. If it works out, you get married. If it doesn't, you go to counseling, or then you break up. It was installed in Noah's mind that divorce is a no-go, so they tried counseling and therapy, but nothing worked. And by the end of it, he knew that his marriage wasn't going to work. So 3 years ago, around the same time Fuslie had joined, I think, 100 Thieves, Noah started to have long conversations with her since she had recently split up from her fiance and it was a difficult time for her. They bonded over how their relationships were with their partner, Noah in a loveless marriage and Fuslie with her recently broken up relationship. And that bond turned into feelings for each other, and they did some stuff together, and then they realized that they shouldn't have done that and haven't spoken to each other since. So they only realized after that it was bad to sleep with each other. Noah and his wife couldn't get a divorce, but he decided that cheating was way better than getting a divorce and finding new people than to be in a loveless marriage for years. And even if he didn't cheat on her, how long were they just supposed to be in a loveless marriage for? Years? Decades? Because when kids come around, the whole thing is complicated. So how long did he expect to be there? Now the Milad side of it, he didn't invite him. It was a public event in Los Angeles, anyone could go in, and he didn't know that he was there or how we got behind the DJ booth. So that was his entire stream. And now Fuslie's stream, which will probably go more in depth considering her stream was like 42 something minutes. The stream is called First Stream in a New Apartment, not the one I thought it was going to be Let's Talk. So she starts off joyful and laughing like any other stream, which is honestly the complete opposite of Noah. And she says that she's going to give context on the entire thing. She saw Lex's video and she thought that since it's out, she'll do a stream now, because she did this stream on the exact same day Lex's video released, which is fast for a response, because usually it takes like people take like a day, 2 days, 3 days, even a week to make a response, never the same day. And she said that she's going to be completely 100% honest since the entire thing is true. And she even had thoughts about revealing the entire thing herself without revealing any names, so that people knew the bad side of her, so if they decide to still support her, they know what they're getting when they support someone like this. She realized that what she did was wrong, and she's not going to hold it against anyone if they don't support her. And she reveals that she told people around the time when the entire thing happened back in 2021. Her and her fiance SN, they broke up their engagement, and near the end of it, their relationship was getting off, a bit rocky, with her getting cold feet, and they weren't ready to get married, the next step. They were on and off, and they realized that the entire thing wasn't going to work out, so they just ended it. And they didn't reveal that they ended their relationship to the public until a month later. So, in between of being broken up and now revealing it to the public, she went to the 100 Thieves creator camp as a way to distract herself. She opened up about it to the people there since she didn't know what to do in this situation, and one of the people that she revealed it to was NoahJ, who in return talked about his own marriage, about how marriage is difficult and that both people in the marriage have their own struggles in the relationship. Fuslie resonated with that since Noah and his wife seemed like a good couple on the outside, but it turns out on the inside it was completely different. And the camp conversations, they went on until 5 a.m. with just him and her, and probably a few other people too, but we don't know who else was there. And when the camp ended, she wanted to continue conversations with Noah since it was helping her get through the entire breakup of their, engagement. And this is where Noah starts to get more in depth with his relationship with his wife, more than what you consider normally go. And in her mind, she thought that it was fine since he was married and they were just talking. She needed someone to talk to since she didn't know what to do. And to her, it would be weird if Noah was using her to vent about his relationship if she was in a relationship. But since she wasn't in a relationship, she tried to justify it to keep the conversation going since she still needed someone to talk to, and Noah was really the best person that was helping her out in this thing. And in return, she would try to help Noah with his own relationship problems by telling him to go to therapy or talk to a professional about the entire thing instead of just talking to her. She felt like it was selfish to have him as company to trauma bond, but I realized after that if she was in Noah's wife's position, she would not be okay with this, being that her husband is trauma dumping about their loveless marriage to another woman. So the camp ended, he goes back to Houston, and she's still in LA. They would then talk on Discord, play games, all that. And this is where she started to develop feelings for her, which makes sense because when you break off a relationship, you're kind of at a low point, and having someone to guide you and be there for you would probably make you grateful for them, and that can probably lead to feelings. And then Noah also started to develop his own feelings, and Noah told Fuslie that he's planning to get a divorce. And so Fuslie sees this as a hope that they can officially be together, which sounds like the typical scenario that they have in TV show dramas where the main guy has a mistress that he's having fun with, telling her all the right words, saying that he'll divorce his wife so that they can be together and get married. But I mean, by definition, Fuslie is a mistress, homewrecker, or whatever you want to call it, because she's seeing someone who's married, knows that he's married, and fawning over the fact that he's divorcing his wife for her. And one thing I don't get in this situation is that she's doing this live and 99% of her chat is treating her like a victim, showing all their hearts and support while she tells everyone that she's essentially a homewrecker. You have people trying to justify her being a mistress, saying that, oh yeah, we understand, while no one's talking about the real victim of this entire thing being NoahJ's ex-wife. But Noah is equally or even more to blame, because he was the one who was actually married and he had an affair, trauma dumped about his entire loveless marriage to another woman, and strung along Fuslie about getting together after he divorces his wife. So Fuslie finally realizes that what she's doing could be labeled as emotional cheating, but tries to justify it while ultimately knowing that what she's doing is wrong. Because she's preying on the fact that someone's gonna get a divorce so that she can be together with Noah. So she tries to find people for emotional support because of how people are gonna see it, since she only just recently broke up with her fiance, and then you have Noah on this side breaking up with or divorcing his wife so that they can be together. And people are gonna see it as they both were cheating on their partners, which is why they got together this fast and why their relationships didn't work, because they were cheating with each other. And one of the main things that brought them together was that they shared the same struggles relationship-wise with their respective partners. So the guilt of the entire thing caught up with her, and she actually sent a letter to Noah's wife about the entire thing that they had together. Look, the letter thing I can somewhat respect, even though she was doing it for her own good. Sending a letter to let them know that their husband was cheating on them is respectable. If only it didn't come from the person that he cheated on her with and knew that he was married. But Fuslie doesn't really know if she actually received the letter or not, since after she sent that letter, she cut off all contact with Noah. She tried for a future relationship, but ultimately realized that to get the relationship that she wanted, she had to destroy another relationship, and she didn't want to do that. She was both panicked and relieved that everything is just out and open now because she can finally talk about the entire thing. She told multiple people and they understood, but they were ultimately disappointed with her. Look, I understand, being there for a friend at a low point, but ultimately that friend destroyed an entire relationship. Even if you support her, you have to call her out on it too. Unless it was gonna be like, oh, if you call her out publicly, you're gonna be out of the friend circle. The chat justified everything she said, like she did nothing wrong, and reassuring her on everything. She thought that if this got out earlier, she would just ended her career and she would just retire, but now she isn't. Before she went live, she talked to Noah after 3 years, and he knew the reason why she called him. It was basically to ask him or tell him that she's gonna reveal everything and see if he's fine with it. Which is probably why he made his video, so that, he had at least something, because she was gonna reveal everything in her stream. So since that stream, it's been about 3 weeks, and she hasn't posted anything. She's probably taking at least a month or two. I feel like to the most, she's probably taking a 4-month break. Then she's probably gonna come back. To be honest, I was kind of curious on what was gonna happen with the group that she's associated with. Because I actually do, sometimes watch, offline TV and Friends. And they actually had someone in the past that cheated on their partner and they got kicked out the entire group. So I was kind of curious on what was gonna happen. So if you don't know about, this, I'll just, give a brief explanation. So this is what happened. They got married in 2022. It was Wendy and Abe. They live streamed their wedding. And in 2023, August, they actually broke up. And you can kind of tell what kind of happened, since you had everybody comforting Abe and nobody even acknowledged Wendy. And you had the entire group just ghost her. So you had people thinking if the same thing was going to happen, since, Fuslie did technically cheat, or, NoahJ cheated. I don't know how. Is it both cheating, or I actually don't know. So this is what Valkyrie had to say on it, since, she's friends with both of them. Because, she's good friends with Fuslie, and she's a part owner of 100 Thieves with NoahJ. So she said that the whole situation of, Wendy's Sting and Fuslie's stream is entirely different behind the scenes. Because to be honest, the only info that we know is the only info that they let us know. And a lot of people were calling him out, saying that, well, isn't the Abe thing, Wendy thing, and Fuslie thing all the same thing? But how come Fuslie and Wendy are getting treated completely different? They said that, the entire situation, like the overall situation is the exact same thing, but there is a bit of a difference. On one hand, you had someone cheating on their newly wedded husband, and on the other hand, you have someone who's a homewrecker. Even though both things are bad, cheating on your newlywed husband is way worse than being a homewrecker, I think. But if Fuslie was married or still engaged with Edison when she did this entire thing, she would have 100% got the Wendy treatment, being their entire friend group just ghosted her. The only reason I see why she's being treated better is because she recently broke up her engagement and she went to the first person that actually understood her, being NoahJ. And people are saying that she was emotionally vulnerable, because she just broke up her engagement. Like, she didn't cheat on the guy or anything, they just mutually broke it up because they weren't compatible. Because at that point, breaking up your engagement, you're an emotionally vulnerable person. And Noah was the first person there for her that really understood her and was showing that, marriage isn't all sunshine and rainbows. And at a certain point, he was actually stringing her along, saying that, oh, yeah, I'm actually getting a divorce. And because of how the relationship was, he was probably hinting that, oh, once I get a divorce, the both of us could be together. The main thing that she did was that she felt guilt, wrote a letter to Noah's wife explaining absolutely everything out of guilt, and then ghosted Noah on everything. Because she realized that what she's doing is something a terrible person would actually do to someone else. But really, she's only getting a pass because they don't know Noah's wife personally on the same level as Wendy and Fuslie. So they can honestly care less for her. They can feel bad, but nothing is really going to happen on that same level. Because, Wendy and Abe, both in the same friend group, one of them cheats on the other, they have to support the guy who got cheated on. And in Fuslie's case, since it was her and someone else that they don't know at all, they could honestly care less about Noah's wife. And that's really how the thing works. If she did it with someone else who's part of the exact same friend group, then that would have caused issue. She would have got kicked out, and probably the other person would have got kicked out too. Because that person cheated on the third person with Fuslie. So both of them 100% would have got kicked out the entire group if she did it with someone that they actually knew and liked personally. And in the case of Wendy, she probably just cheated just to cheat. But we really don't know, the entire thing. Because the only thing we really know is, she cheated on him. But we don't know, any, in-depth information like we do with Fuslie. Fuslie was actually remorseful about the entire thing, writing the letter and everything. Where, in the case of Wendy, she cheated on her husband just to cheat. But, we don't know anything. And she probably didn't show, remorse or anything for the actual thing. Which is, I think, the only reason why, they're being treated differently. So that's about it. If you liked, then sub. If you sub, you might get another video.